to the channel. Coming up at number 3, let's dive deep into a city growing faster than most experts predicted: San Antonio, a city where history, economics, and urban planning collide in ways that shape the future of Texas itself. How does a city with Spanish colonial roots, founded in 1718, transform into a modern economic powerhouse while maintaining its cultural and architectural heritage? And what strategies are driving this explosive growth? San Antonio's population has surged past 1.5 million, making it the 7th largest city in the U.S. But unlike other urban giants, its expansion isn't just upward, it's outward. The city follows a development model called ETJ, extraterritorial jurisdiction, allowing it to annex surrounding land, avoiding the spatial constraints choking cities like San Francisco. This annexation strategy, combined with a cost of living nearly 15% lower than the national average, has made San Antonio a magnet for both families and businesses. Infrastructure is a battleground. The city faces a delicate dance between historic preservation and modern expansion. The Riverwalk, a century-old engineering marvel, channels floodwaters while doubling as a tourist magnet, generating over $4 billion annually. Meanwhile, the Alamo Plan, a $400 million project, seeks to balance historic preservation with increased tourism. The military's footprint is undeniable. Joint Base San Antonio, with a $41 billion economic impact, fuels both population growth and real estate demand. Unlike Phoenix, where water scarcity looms, San Antonio pioneered a massive desalination plant and an innovative aquifer storage system, banking water underground during wet years for use in dry ones. Tech and manufacturing are reshaping the economy. Toyota's billion-dollar truck plant, cybersecurity firms, and a rising biotech sector are rewriting San Antonio's economic DNA. Yet challenges persist. Traffic congestion, education funding, and property taxes stir debate over policy priorities. The future? A balancing act between smart growth and the Texas spirit of independence. Moving to number 2. Austin. Now, here's a city that's not just growing, it's erupting like a thermodynamic system under pressure. In 2023 alone, Austin's metropolitan area added nearly 170,000 new residents, equivalent to absorbing an entire mid-sized town every single year. But what's driving this? Simple: low taxes, business-friendly policies, and an infrastructure network that, despite its notorious traffic, continues to expand with projects like the $1.5 billion I-35 expansion. Tech dominance. Oh, let's talk about that. Austin isn't just the live music capital, it's become a tech fortress. Tesla's Giga Texas plant, covering over 10 million square feet, larger than 170 football fields combined, is a beacon of high-tech manufacturing efficiency, assembling electric vehicles with a level of automation once thought impossible. Apple's Austin campus? A $1 billion investment spanning 3 million square feet, expected to house 15,000 employees at full capacity. And the semiconductor industry? Samsung's $17 billion semiconductor plant in Taylor, just outside Austin, is one of the largest foreign investments in U.S. history. But growth has consequences. Housing affordability, for one. The median home price in Austin in 2010 was around $215,000. Fast forward to 2022, and that number skyrocketed past $500,000, more than doubling in just over a decade. Why? Supply and demand, of course. A flood of high-income tech workers from California and New York, combined with zoning laws that have historically favored single-family homes, created a housing squeeze. Efforts like the recent Land Development Code revisions aim to introduce more multifamily units, but the debate rages on. And climate. Oh, it's a battleground. Austin sits at the crossroads of severe weather, triple-digit summer heat, flash floods from intense storms, and even the occasional deep freeze that cripples its energy grid. The February 2021 winter storm? It left over 4 million Texans without power, exposing vulnerabilities in ERCOT's deregulated grid system, and sparking a policy debate that continues today. Now, transportation. The long-debated Project Connect, an estimated $10 billion transit plan, aims to introduce light rail, but critics argue it's too little too late for a city already drowning in congestion. Yet, autonomous vehicle startups, like Waymo and Cruise, are betting that Austin's open regulatory climate will make it a proving ground for self-driving technology. Austin isn't just growing. It's a living experiment in urban planning, economics, and policy. And whether it thrives or crumbles under its own expansion, well, that depends on. Lastly, we will talk about Phoenix. Now, this city is something else. A desert metropolis, growing at an almost unnatural rate, defying the very environment that surrounds it. Phoenix, Arizona has expanded from a modest settlement into the fifth largest city in the United States, boasting a population that has surged past 1.6 million. How? Water, engineering, economic shifts, all working in tandem to create an urban giant in the middle of the Sonoran Desert. Think about it. The Roosevelt Dam, completed in 1911, set the stage by taming the Salt River, providing irrigation and hydroelectric power. Then came the Central Arizona Project, a 736-kilometer-long canal system diverting water from the Colorado River, vital for the region's survival. But here's the kicker. Phoenix gets less than 21 centimeters of rain annually. Compare that to New York City, which gets more than 100 centimeters. Yet, Phoenix thrives. The key? Groundwater pumping, strict water conservation policies, and large-scale reuse initiatives, some of the most aggressive in the nation. Now, consider its urban sprawl. Phoenix is designed around the automobile, grid-patterned streets, massive highway networks, low-density housing stretching for miles. The metropolitan area covers more than 14,000 square kilometers, larger than Los Angeles. The Loop 101, Loop 202, and the Interstate 10 form critical transport arteries. But here's the paradox. While its car-centric design has fueled growth, it also creates challenges. Congestion, air quality, sustainability. Urban planners are now pushing light rail expansions, high-density zoning, and smart growth policies to counterbalance decades of sprawl. And let's not forget the economy. Technology, manufacturing, defense, aerospace. The TSMC semiconductor plant, set to become one of the largest outside of Asia, alone represents a $40 billion investment. Housing? Prices have skyrocketed by over 50% since 2020. Migration? Tens of thousands arrive yearly, drawn by a business-friendly climate, lower taxes, and warm winters. But water scarcity looms, a challenge for the next century. That's Phoenix, engineered for the impossible. And that wraps up fastest growing cities and their planning strategies. If you found this fascinating, check out the other cities we covered: San Antonio, Austin. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell us, can Phoenix keep growing?